Shift with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Studio Series, CLUNKER Bumblebee, which is basically just a repaint of that previously released Studio Series Bumblebee figure of him in his classic Camaro look. But this one has a lot more of the rust effect put on him. I don't really think that there's anything otherwise different. I have heard that they've made some improvements to it, but we'll see. For the package though, you do have that nice Transformers text along the side with the Generation logo. You do see that this comes from the first Transformer movie. And then you got an image of Bumblebee right there with the open clamshell that fully showcases the figure. The opposite side here has an up-close image of him. You got Studio Series number 27. Opposite side has that image kind of right there, as well as the Autobot logo, which is actually printed onto the backdrop itself. Back of the package, you got other figures that are currently available in this new wave. You got that backdrop, which is of a used car shopping where, you know, we get Uncle Bobby B. And then you got images of him in his robot as well as his vehicle mode. And I do got to say that the vehicle mode does look really nice. If that's how the paint job turns out, I'll be pretty happy. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the clunker version of Bumblebee opened up out of his packaging and obviously in his vehicle mode. And starting off first, taking a look at the background. You can see Studio Series number 27, you do have the Transformers logo here on the platform, and of course you have Bolivia's auto sales, the legendary Uncle Bobby B. Honestly, one of the best scenes in the entire movie, and I do like the first Transformer movie a lot. But this was the scene that we first saw this guy. Well, it's not the first time that we saw him, but this is where Sam met him. And yeah, it is just a repaint for the most part. There has been one significant improvement to the overall mold, but I'll get to that. Overall, though, what you see is basically a car with some rust, I guess. You could kind of say, I mean, you got a big splotch of it right there, a couple of little ones, few here along the side, just a little white splotch right there. There's only a couple here on the hood of the car, and then you come to the other side, and it is one thing that I like is it is different. I mean, obviously you can see you got like a little rust over this tire. You don't have any there. You got a little white splotch back here, whereas this has some of the rust color. So I like the fact that they actually made it a little bit different. I kind of wish that they would have taken that technique that they're using with the Siege figures and put it on this, because that incorporates a little bit better. This doesn't look all that, I don't know. I mean, looking at it, it doesn't seem natural. I guess. When you see a really rusted car, there's a lot of other stuff kind of around where the rust is. I mean, that just looks like it's blip, 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 thrown on there. So it's not too bad. I do kind of like it. You do still have the weapon storage here on the back, which is kind of dumb, but there is paint differences here with the whole thing is painted silver, whereas the other one I'll bring it out here that had some yellow on there. But overall, pretty decent looking. It, like I said, just still attaches there. Everything else is basically the same. Bringing in that original one, you can see that, yeah, he's dirtier. I mean, that's about it. And I mean, everything else is pretty much the same. You got the black stripe. I'm gonna see you got the blue lights. The new one here has a black grille, whereas that one is silver. So that looks pretty nice with the new black grille. Tires are the same, hubcaps are the same color. Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same figure. This obviously looks better. I like the added color. You don't get so much of it. I mean, there is a few paint differences in robot mode, not a ton. We'll take a look at that here, obviously, in a bit. Looking at the weapon, this was the original ones. I kind of like this a little bit more with the yellow on it, whereas this one is just all silver. So, I mean, I literally might just swap these out because they're literally identical. I mean, you can plug that in there as well. I mean, it's the same functionality. So, I'll probably use this one in my display. This is, I mean, before I even get too far into it, this is ultimately the one that's going to be my display. I'm more than likely going to get rid of this guy. It looks better. But the biggest improvement is what they did to the hood section. All of it is connected, as you probably remember, and then it's got this little piece right up in here that was attached via a little kind of friction peg. This is much better, but we've seen the transformation for this guy already. I'm not going to go through it. It's the exact same. So utilizing some good old-fashioned movie magic and covering up my camera just like this, and then uncovering it to reveal his robot mode. And again, basically the exact same, but the difference is right here. They finally put an actual pin through this section. And God, has that made a huge difference in this. It's so much better of a figure just simply by putting a pin through there. Now you can take this, tuck that under, and then bring that all the way up underneath there, and you bring these little bits down, and now you have his completed robot mode. And I'm just amazed at how much a simple little thing like that can really do to make this figure that much more enjoyable. They also did something really nice with the entire figure overall. Everything else on him, joint-wise, the feet, the arms, everything has been dramatically tightened. And again, that really helps the overall figure as well. I mean, bringing in that other beat, this was the part right here. This is what was constantly giving people problems. You had this section right here that literally all it was being, and it literally looks like there are holes going through that entire thing that literally all they had to do was put a pin through there. That's it. Just like drill some holes through this piece and then put a pin in there, because the holes are already there. I mean, I don't know if you're able to see that, but they're already there. So putting that there, you had to then take this and tuck that up underneath there, and it was fine until you wanted to bring it back out and try to transform it. And then when you would try bringing this over his head and trying to fit this into the back section, this would constantly fall out. It was just such a terrible thing. I mean, it's like, honestly, I don't know why they didn't do it. But comparison time. Get this the way that it's supposed to be. And like I talked about, a lot of the joints, the feet area down here, so much tighter. Looking at the figure, though, there really isn't a lot that's different. I'm seeing a little bit less paint here on this. This guy's got some yellow on here. Obviously, one thing that's interesting is that this being the new version, this section right here is meant to replicate the grill. This is the grill. It's black, so I mean, it works. It looks good. This one was silver, and then it was black. So this obviously blends in a lot better with everything. I mean, you can see you got the silver bumper. That's this along the side. And then, like I said, the grill matches beautifully there. Also, you're noticing that there's a lack of paint right here where it's supposed to be this kind of bleeding over. This one here, you had that color, and then you had that little black section. So again, a little bit more accurate. Looking at the arms, those all look basically the same color. Like I said, you have some yellow on here on the older version in his chest area that the new one doesn't have. But that's all I'm really seeing. There's not really much else different. You do have a little bit of the rust coming through here. Not a lot. The robot mode is not nearly as prevalent in terms of those colors that the robot mode has. But that doesn't bother me really all that much. I mean, this is still a good figure. He still displays really nicely. The eyes, everything on the head looks the same. You got the Autobot logo. It's just the improvement of this is leaps and bounds better on the new one. And then again, you got the weapon here. I do kind of like the yellow on here. So again, all you do with this being the exact same, you just pull that out. It pegs in using the new one here, plugging that in there like that. You have that. I do kind of like the yellow. I'll be honest. I think that looks a little bit better. I'm going to pull that off. I might end up keeping this weapon with that. I kind of think that looks a little bit better. I mean, the silver and everything looks nice. I just feel like the yellow bit here matches with that, because why would that change color? I don't get that. But I mean, again, just an overall huge improvement over the figure itself. Articulation wise is the exact same. The head here is on a ball joint, doesn't really do too much. You get some nice up and down, side to side, all that stuff. The shoulders here are on ball joints. You do get that part that just still detaches, so you have to be careful with that. Nice ball joints there. You do have a rotation at the elbow. You also do have a hinge. The wrists are on hinges, so you can articulate those in and out. The waist does rotate. You have nice ball joints here for the hips. Rotates at the thigh, bends here at the knee. The feet do move forward and back, but no real in and out or anything. So you're not really doing too many dynamic poses with the feet. All in all, should this figure be detolfed for you? Absolutely. Even if you have that original one, this one is just leaps and bounds better than him, and without a doubt in my mind, deserves a place in your movie collection. This guy just turned out that darn good. You can still take the hand, fold that in, and then you can plug it around in his butt, just like that. You kind of hide that right there. So I mean, absolutely blows that other one away. Subtle changes to the overall paint, like with the chest matching the vehicle mode's chest. The rust color, while I think that they could have done that a little bit better, looks better than the original one. You can still use that original one as like a Bumblebee movie version comparison. And there you go. So I mean, if you really wanted to still use that figure, you could put that one in your Bumblebee film display, I guess, because when he scanned the Camaro, that Camaro was clean and not rusted up yet. So there you go. I mean, isn't it kind of unfortunate that we had to double dip? That definitely sucks that they waited, but I'm glad that they took the time to make improvements to this figure. It's definitely worth it, in my opinion, to pick this guy up. So, all that being said, if this version of Bumblebee is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, he is available right now at various retailers. So if you're looking for him, good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, there's places such as Big Bad Toy Store. For that, all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description, where you'll go to BBTS and you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Remember, if you like this video, I would really appreciate your support, guys, simply by hitting that thumbs up button. That one small gesture really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, I want to send a huge thank you if you made it all the way to the end of this review. Another way that you can really help support my channel is making sure that you watch a video all the way through. And if you did that, thank you. Also, a huge shout out to all of my patrons, who through their continued support, now more than ever, help to make reviews like this possible. And finally, remember, the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.